At this point, it's almost certain that Warcraft 3 is relaunching in a really big way. It all started with the leak of patch 2.0, which indicates a significant update. Keep in mind, Frozen Throne was only 1.0.7, Reforged was 1.32, so by all accounts, this should be really big. However, Blizzard just announced Warcraft Direct on November 13th. They dropped a new category for the announcement with Warcraft RTS with the 30th anniversary logo on their website. They added new artwork with Mounted Troll and Tyrande just like they were back in the RTS, as well as a Warcraft 3 dressed Jaina. They added Warcraft 3 themed crests and mounts linked to a cross promotion. Now, based on the previous survey, we can see Warcraft 4 or Warcraft 3 Reforged again with new campaigns, graphics, and a whole bunch of updates. Let's dig in because there are like 15 different hints and I don't even know where to start. If you want to get Dragonflight or anything else Warcraft related, Gamigo has some excellent deals that you can check out with my link below. Best of all, you can get software, gift cards, a bunch of games at below market prices. On top of that, you can also use my code Doron to get yet another discount, so make sure to check out my link below and grab some amazing deals at Gamigo. So just a little bit over a week ago, I literally made this exact same video talking about the leaks that we have about Warcraft 4 coming out, or Warcraft 3 Reforged once again. And now the reason I'm making this video again is because we got like 10 more hints 2 days later, and we also got a date for Warcraft Direct, which is going to be November 13th. So in just 2 weeks, we're going to get an announcement, and we will certainly get an announcement for the RTS as well. Now, I think everyone can really agree that Warcraft 3 Reforged was really not the way to go. It was not only a cheap cash grab, but it was kind of a disgrace to the legacy of Warcraft 3 in general. Warcraft 3 is one of the most iconic games ever. It is what started World of Warcraft, and Blizzard built this when they were a relatively unknown company. They had some success, but at the time they were more like a stronger indie company than some massive multi-billion dollar corporation. So, because now they are a multi-billion dollar corporation, everyone expected we would get like insane AAA quality and a significant rebuild of Warcraft 3 that would really do the original game justice, but we got some outsourced, cutting the corners piece of work that arguably had worse graphics than the original game, at least when we compare the time periods of release, and the cinematics in particular were just outright atrocious. I mean, some of the most iconic cinematics literally just got a little bit more sharpening effects on them, like you could do this on a mobile app, and they were the exact same thing, and some were recreated so badly that we really had dozens of fan-made machinimas that looked way better than what multi-billion dollar Blizzard released. Now, it turns out they really want to actually do this right. So, without repeating the same information from the last video, I just want to really quickly sum up the leaks and the new information. So, in the next 5 minutes, you'll see that there are like 15 hints that Warcraft 3 2.0 is happening. The biggest bit of news and why everyone is talking about this is the literal leak, because Blizzard dropped a patch 2.0 and then 16 hours later reverted it back to 1.36. Now, this might not mean much to you on first glance, but literally Reign of Chaos was patch 1.0, Frozen Throne started with patch 1.0.7, and Warcraft 3 Reforged was the supposed big update that started with 1.32 and went up to 1.36, where it is now. However, they dropped a patch 2.0, which by all logic should be much bigger than both Reforged and the Frozen Throne. So this is literally either going to be a brand new game like Warcraft 4 or just a completely different Reforged version of the current game. Now, keep in mind, this actually has a ton of context. Back in January last year, while Microsoft was in the talks of buying Blizzard, the Warcraft 3 team sent a survey asking whether the players would want a relaunch of Warcraft 3 Reforged. They asked a whole bunch of questions, but the most important ones were new and reworked campaigns, new graphics, new menus, as well as new online features. All these questions seem to have been geared towards them being really interested in a relaunch. Then when Microsoft bought Blizzard a little bit later, the Microsoft Gaming CEO was talking about how they're really interested in reworking and remastering the old Blizzard games, but not as a cash grab, and doing it in a really legit and high quality manner. At the same time, Chris Metzen also returned, talking about how there is much in store for Warcraft as a franchise, not just WoW, and how exciting times are ahead. And keep in mind, this is one of the guys that built original Warcraft 3 and WoW. Now, I have already mentioned these bits in the previous video, but we got a lot more. In fact, we got a whole bunch of hints in World of Warcraft and on the website and on the announcements. So in WoW, on the November trading post, items were really interesting all of a sudden. We got 4 crests for all the original Warcraft 3 playable races as rewards. We got Orc, Human, Undead and Night Elven crests, and as you can see from the images themselves, they're literally the exact same ones that are used in Warcraft 3. Remember, these are the playable races from the RTS, while WoW has a bunch of other new playable races, so this is without a doubt related to Warcraft 3. You could say this is related to the 20th anniversary of WoW and the 30th anniversary of the Warcraft franchise, but seriously, I mean, this is not Warcraft 1 themed, it's so obviously Warcraft 3 geared. Now, if you think this is a coincidence, there is so much more that connects everything. So, for the 30th anniversary, Blizzard released a bundle featuring 8 new mounts, 4 for the War Within and 4 for Cataclysm Classic, and literally all of them are based on Warcraft 3 races. Even more interestingly, all of them have Chaos in the name, which I think is a pretty obvious reference to Warcraft 3 Reign of Chaos. We got Chaos Forged Griffin, Chaos Forged Windrider, Chaos Forged Dreadwing, and the Chaos Forged Hippogriff. You could say, oh well, this could be a reach, the Chaos might just be a simple coincidence, but wait, there is more. So, in 11.0.5, we got 2 new mounts called the War Saber and the War Wolf, which are technically Warcraft 3 themed mounts, and interesting enough, their source says promotion. In general, with WoW, this means that this is a cross promotion with one of their other games, which strongly indicates that this is related to Warcraft 3. You might have seen a bunch of cross promotions like these with Hearthstone, for example. However, it gets even better. With the announcement of the date for Warcraft Direct, which is going to probably replace BlizzCon in the future, and they might do it multiple times a year when there are news, we got an update to the Blizzard Press website. As you can see, they updated the press site to support the 30th anniversary of Warcraft and the 20th anniversary of WoW. However, they created a new game category called Warcraft RTS that literally has the 30th anniversary logo. Obviously, this means that there will be announcements that we will see on this Warcraft Direct. Keep in mind, only Warcraft RTS, WoW, Hearthstone, and the mobile game Rumble have the new anniversary logos for the big event that will happen in exactly 2 weeks. However, if all of this is not enough for you, then they just dropped brand new promotional artwork that is very suspicious. They're all obviously Warcraft franchise characters, and some are a bit more on the side. They reference Rumble, Hearthstone, and Xal'atath is obviously representing the War Within, so WoW retail. The Altarian for some reason, and the Not Deathwing seems to represent Cataclysm Classic, although everyone is confused why exactly they decided to choose this artwork and not the iconic Cataclysm Deathwing artwork. However, as you can see, the core of this artwork are all Warcraft 3 characters. We got Medivh, Illidan, Arthas, Jaina, Tyrande, Sylvanas, and Thrall. Now, if we dig a little bit deeper, you can notice a few really interesting details. Do you notice that Jaina is actually in her Warcraft 3 attire and is in the pre-Terramorph stage? This isn't the current day Jaina. I think this is an obvious hint we're talking about her Warcraft 3 version. However, it also seems obvious that Thrall and Tyrande are their Warcraft 3 counterparts. Do you notice that both of them are mounted just like they were both mounted as units back in Warcraft 3? All of this seems connected. Now, this is a massive anniversary that they have been hyping up for years now. With Chris Metzen back, I really think they want to do Warcraft 3 justice, and we will actually get a big announcement. In the least, we might get a new campaign or some big updates significantly changing the game, but all hints seem to be pointing towards a completely new game, so this is probably going to be a pretty big project. Based on the survey and what they were asking, we're talking about new graphics, new campaigns, new stories. If it's just Warcraft 3 Reforged and not Warcraft 4, I think we might get new and updated dialogues. We might get the story from the books that was not actually in the original game. For example, that famous Arthas versus the High Elven King duel that was a big deal but was never actually in the game. All of this could be incredibly exciting, and we currently got a ton of hints, but we will find out everything in exactly 2 weeks on Warcraft Direct. Thanks for watching. Check out what is going on with the fallen old gods and why are they dissected in labs by clicking on the screen, and check out my video on Perun and Slavic mythology by clicking on the screen as well. See you next time.